Hi guys, it's Katie, and today I am with Angela
and Sam.
Angela and Sam are some of my closest friends in college, and they're both seniors, so I thought it would be fun to talk about our experience navigating social life, and especially talking a bit about how this changes over the 4 years for us. What did you guys study, where are you from, and what is next for you?
Alright, I'm Samantha, or Sam, and I study info science with minors in computer science, game design, and fine arts.
Hi, my name is Angela. I studied electrical computer engineering and then also computer science.
First juicy question, how did we meet?
Okay, I can go first. I met Katie my sophomore year and her junior year, I think. We met in this class called Annabelle's Groceries, which is a food justice initiative. And then we got lunch together and we became friends.
Katie and I met through a mutual friend. It was literally, I think, the first few weeks that I was at Cornell.
Yeah.
And then we were at a dining hall. And I don't think Katie remembers this too much, but yeah, we said hi.
How do you think we got close?
I think the first conversation we had, we both realized that we would be really good friends. We talked about so many different things and so many different topics that we found interesting. So I think when you can go from really deep topics like religion and then go really light to talking about stupid things in the course of 5 minutes or so, I think that's when you can tell that you're going to be good friends.
Nice! I feel like we started talking more and more because we both were like starting student organizations on campus, and then Katie was like really in her entrepreneurial phase like during that time, and like so was I. And we're both like out of that stereotype now and more just like to spend time and just have like deeper meaningful conversations. I think that's how we got closer like over time.
We were in very similar stages, I think, of our life at every point in college, and it was so helpful because like we loved reflecting.
Yes.
Also, and we would process with each other. Was there a specific point you think solidified our friendship?
I think for me, it was seeing how stupid you can be.
Any specific moment?
Okay, let me elaborate on this a bit, because it was more just like the emotional vulnerability part, right? So being comfortable enough around someone to say silly things or say stupid things or do stupid things.
Yeah, I totally get that though, because I remember first year or sophomore year when I'd say I was making more shallow friendships. I would not say the first thing that came to my mind. I always had to like filter it or screen it, especially if I wasn't sure if I could trust the person. For me, it was a few months later, I was having a really tough day and I called you and I was crying and you came over. I had never, I think, cried like in front of someone. After that, I was like, wow, like I fully trust you. Over the pandemic, when we would FaceTime and when we'd call like every month, I think that meant a lot to me because I realized that our friendship wasn't out of convenience. It wasn't just because we're in the same dorm. We generally had an emotional connection. I knew that it would last beyond college, and so I really like treasured that.
That's so sweet.
What's yours?
What's mine? I would say like pretty early on, like winter break of like 2019 to 2020.
Yeah.
We were both stuck at the airport and there was like a blizzard and we couldn't go home. And that was like the first time I've been with you for like stuck with you. kind of. We could just talk about anything. And I felt like that was like the first time I opened up. Yeah, and then you were so nice, so receptive, and then you also like gave me a lot of your insights. I was like, wow, Katie is so cool.
I hope you're ready for the social life questions.
I was ready. I came with notes.
Okay. What is social life to you?
I think I classify myself as like a pretty social person. I'm constantly doing things with people, even when I don't try. My weekends are booked. Like this entire week, every night, I'm doing something with some other person. I'd consider, say, 2 main friend groups. I've had a friend group since a week freshman year. It's probably around 13 people on a good day. And then I've also been in another friend group with like Katie and Liz and Allie. Other than that, I have just separate connections with a bunch of other people.
I actually think we're ordered in spectrum.
I would agree with that. We are ordered. I have moments where I'm like really social, but then I also spend a lot of time like alone. First few semesters here, I was like really, you would someone may call me social. But then I think as like time went on and as I like reshaped priorities / like what just gave me more energy and like was like less draining for me. I really focused on like a few people on campus that I would like go to, you know? Like, yeah, right here.
Wait, like I used to be that though. I think this kind of segues into one of your other questions about how your social life evolved. I lost some friendships and like gained some friendships along the way. And I think that the friendships I lost were taking so much time in my life that when I like suddenly wasn't in contact with someone anymore, I realized that I had so much more time and so much more energy to devote to other people in my life. So I think there was really like a shift in the middle of COVID where I really started friendsquing people.
What is friendsquing?
What is that?
Okay, so friendsquing is a term that I coined. In high school, when people refer to when someone is pursuing someone in a romantic sense, they would call it scheming, right? So if you want to get with like a girl or a guy, you're like scheming to like be with them. So friend scheming is kind of that concept but applied to friendships.
We friend scheme so well though, like especially in the summer. It's like you would invite, I would invite, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. Wait, I have like some thought. So far like I've only talked about like social life through this perspective of like friends. But also I feel like a lot of my social life is defined by just like day-to-day interaction. Like people I don't even deem as like really close friends or like close friends. People will ask you for like coffee chats or like people will like ask you like, oh, can you tell me more about your organization or stuff like that. And I categorize that also as part of like social life. It's not just friendships, it's like all these other interactions that you're probably going to have.
Wait, so why do you think that's the case? Like why can't you form more personal bonds with people that you're trying to network?
I don't know, I feel like for me, if someone asks the coffee chat or the context is like we were connected by someone with some topic in mind already, like talking about nonprofit or talking about startup community or YouTube or whatever, I feel like that kind of sets the tone. And it's not impossible to change it, but I think it would need a lot more interaction after that to change. I don't really meet a lot of people who after the coffee chat try to hang out more as friends too, so
That's true.
So it is clearly in a coffee chat bucket, and that's fine because I think, it's part of social life.
Okay, so talking about the diversity of people in college, what types of people do you find yourself gravitating towards? Would you consider us your typical friends? Things like that.
Are you guys my type? For the entrepreneurship world, I think you're the only one, or one of the very few people who I'm like friends with.
Thanks, Kate.
No,
you were, 100%.
You were so my type for like
you guys hear that? Sorry, I need to drink some water after that.
People I gravitate towards are very, I think, multidimensional in the ways that I think I am also, I can speak to similar experiences. So for example, I think for us, our culture and upbringing with like Asia, Southeast Asia is something really important to us. We're also very reflective people, so it's not necessarily what we talk about, but how we talk about something and process something. Even if we don't share the same experience per se, like for example, like religion, like we're all different, but we're all able to talk about it.
My close friends, like I think that you're like very typical. Like, I value people that think about themselves in the world more. There are a few people in my life that I know will show up or go out of their way to do things for me, and not because they want anything in return, but because they just want to be there for me, right?
Yeah, I think I also look for people who reflect. I really, really gravitate towards like people who are self-aware, and then also probably like integrity.
What advice do you have for people's social life?
Experience things. Try to experience probably as much as you want to, and if it doesn't end up the way you want it to, then just have the energy and strength to like restrain yourself and like diving more like deeper into something that you don't want.
This is interesting because I think we're a bit different here. Like I'm a bit of the opposite where I still try things, but usually there are things I know I don't need to try. I don't have FOMO that much. Also, I have JOMO, like joy of missing out sometimes.
That should be a thing.
I know,
like that.
It should be. I'm like, okay, have fun, bye.
Advice I would have for people trying to make friends or looking for connections, I think that what stops a lot of people is the fear of rejection or the fear of being awkward or weird or uncomfortable, right? What I would say to that is you're not going to vibe with everyone, right? You're not going to get along with everyone, and even if you think someone is cool, they might not think you're cool back. But you need to accept that fact and accept that you still have worth outside of that. Just keep reaching out to people if you want to make friends. Just being genuinely curious about other people. So not talking as much about yourself, but, you know, talking about the other person. And if there's someone that would be a good friend, they will naturally ask you questions back. And also, I like introducing my friends to other friends because I feel like the more interconnected your personal friendships are, the easier it is to maintain all of them. When two of my friends know each other, then we can all grab lunch together, or we can text each other in a group chat, or they can text each other, and I don't even have to be involved in that conversation, and I have to do less work.
That is fact. That's
Yeah.
true. My last question is there anything that our friendship taught you?
Oh,
So
deep.
I know.
Wow.
I can go first. For us, it's like what a secure friendship looks like. Because a lot of people talk about secure relationships, but I think a lot of it can also be applied to friendship. Because sometimes we'll go times without texting or seeing each other for weeks. I think we've gotten to a point where we know each other really well that it doesn't matter. Like, you can just ignore me for, like, long paragraphs, and I know you'll just be busy, and I know you'll, like, get to it, and there's, like, zero worry in my mind that's like, oh my gosh, is Andrew's upset at me? Like, oh my gosh. I'm like, there's none of that. I think for you, like, you're more open, whereas I am more guarded on first meeting. And so I've learned so much from you. You've, I think, made me want to be more, like, brave. Not just in friendships, but, like, relationships in general.
Kind of funny that you mentioned my energy about being open because I really admire Katie's energy and the way she interacts with other people who are strangers or not even her friends and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna be a normal amount of friendly with them. And I think Katie just has more energy to deal with people that she just doesn't know. I think you're also really good at reaching out to people and connecting them. I've met so many good friends through you. You just like lead by example, right? So what about you, Angela?
I don't even like know where to start because I think, well, Katie's like my closest friend at Cornell. She has changed who I am, and Katie, oh, this is just gonna be praising Katie.
I literally thought that. I was like, what did you learn about like the friendship, not like me?
Yeah, but I think what I learned from you also helped me. Like,
Okay.
Katie is probably one of the most gracious, kind, and like I would say very loyal and just optimistic, positive, kind, caring, gracious, thoughtful, like everything. Through our friendship, those are like characteristics that I also started like adopting more and more of. And there are like moments in time where I'm like faced with this difficult situation, but what would Katie do?
Serious?
Yeah, no, genuinely, yeah, genuinely.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yes.
Oh, I love you guys. What a sentimental note. Yeah, is there anything else you guys want to add?
Okay, so this is some last friendship advice that I wanted to give people. I think a common pitfall in a friendship is doing tit for tat. The idea that when you give someone a little bit, then you expect a little bit in return. While you do want the friendship to kind of just be open and like giving like that, you also don't want to keep sort of this constant mental checklist about what someone has done for you or what you've done for them. You shouldn't start out a friendship with that sort of mentality. Going back to like the theme of like openness.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah, prepared. Thanks for coming.
I was really busy today on Wednesday.
Well, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like this video, comment, and subscribe. I upload new videos every Saturday. And until then, show your friends some love.
Yeah, show your friends some love.
Really good.
I hope you take care and bye!